Namaste. Welcome and greetings. I am Magick. It's gonna stop a virus. No. This
Got y'all listening now. Some witchcraft for that ass. Too late to turn away. Abracadabra and all that good shit. Yo. Hocus pocus, got you focused on my rhyme. Simply easy, now I'm eating couch potatoes, I recline. No, I'm joking as I'm toking power puffs at Pokeokes. Till my town and villa filled with ganja smoke, you know the dope. Coming out my pipes, talking about the bones in my throat. With the mic, I'm casting curses every night, you know the scope. Got my spells handy. You may call it the phone, but when I'm done reciting, you'll give me the keys to the throne. Then I'll take my keys to go home. Didn't say I was done. While rush to end it all, it feels amazing to have won. I'm not planning to ball, but why not take the chance to stunt? No, I don't need it all. Can think of a thing I don't want. Do I worship the sun? Or sold my soul for the tongue? Or death since I was young? Or got some voodoo done?
Namaste, Namaste, peace, blessings, shalom, greetings. What's up, people? What's up, Juju Man Els? First time I've ever seen that name, but peace. How are you? What's up, my brother Ultra Instinct? How you be? Interesting thing. I started that one anime. I keep forgetting the name. It begins with a G. Geo Kuda something. I can't remember the name of it, but I started it. Interesting premise. This guy going through people's trash or rich people's something like that. But anyway, I started it, but then I got pulled away. So what's up, Nay the Great? How are you? Good to see you. What's up, brother Moore? No, it's not that one. It's that one. Gachia Kuda. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering that goddamn name. What is going on with that? Gachio Kuda, that one. Peace, peace. So I started it, and then as always, I got pulled away. So yeah, I didn't get very far at all with that one. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you all had a great weekend. We still got about 16 days, 17 days left for Halloween. For Halloween's on a Friday this year. I can't wait. But yeah, hopefully y'all had a great weekend. It is still burning up in the 90s, hot in Texas. Um, so yeah, but good to see you all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you are protecting yourselves. You know, always something going on. Always, always, always. You know, so what can be said that I haven't said before? But we always do need to be saved, though. You know what I'm saying? We always need a savior, and that savior always has to have skin other than us, than ours, I should say. What's up, Michael, brother? What's the deal? How are you? It's getting fall like here and that. Oh, really? Damn, envy that because we just cannot. We still in the 90s, man. And 90s in Texas is burning up hot. Friday the 31st, flip the script. Right. How about that? How about that? A moment of silence, though. People found out another legend, I should say, in the community has passed away today. That would be D'Angelo, who put out hits such as "Lady," "Brown Sugar." You know, he had an album called Voodoo. You know what I mean? And if you follow Anio Saru, um, he has some interesting things to say as far as the gematria goes. So rest in peace to D'Angelo. It's crazy that his wife, ex-wife, baby mama, she passed away earlier this year from a car accident. He passes away. You know, it's crazy. But rest in peace to them both. The Boston Rains, haven't seen you in a minute. Peace, bro. How are you? Yes, sir. Rest in peace. Madness. What's up, Nikki Love? How are you? It's always good to see you. You know, it's crazy. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. You know, like I was saying though, Whew, where to begin here today? Where to begin? Um, like I said, I hope y'all are putting up your protections. I hope y'all are educating yourselves too. You know what I mean? So much is coming out now this year that none of this shit should be a surprise about the stuff that people are saying. Uh, I think Ani did do a video on that guy, Charlie Kirk, you know, Michi X. Y'all remember Michi X? Michi X had something to say about that too. Uh, you just heard about D'Angelo? Yeah, I read them numbers did line up. They absolutely did line up. And I was like, damn, really? Peace, Katrina. What's the deal? Thanks for coming in. Instagram, I go. Ah, Instagram, I go. Um, but anyway, here is what Michi X had to say as far as that's concerned. Peace, Imhotep. Good to see you. Peace, D. Peaceful. Legacy Sigma. Peace and blessings. Good to see you all here. Thanks for joining me today. Naga Creed. Peace. What's up? Dang, if I heard word try. Yeah, he passed. They both was only in their 50s. You seen a few videos from Michi? Okay. All right. Yeah. Greetings, Lloyd. What's up, man? All right. Here's what Michi. Well, here's what this dude said. I'm not sure who this guy is. I should have. This is the interesting racism in the name of God. How some pastors sound just like Charlie Kirk. Now, if you listen to the last time I had Ani Osaro on here, he said in one clip he said that Charlie Kirk said what white America thinks and want to say. Y'all remember that? Peace, Motown Witch. How are you? She been going off lately? Really? Mm, yeah. All right, we're gonna play a clip. Let's play a clip. Greetings, peace, Motown Witch. It's always good to see you. This guy here.
Black strangers, there is 30 times more danger. Them's the facts. And it is actually a failure of your parental duty. White parents, please hear me. If you teach your children growing up, if you lie to them and say, all people and all races of people in our country are the same. They are not. You are actually depriving your child of factual, truthful information that could save their life.
If slavery never happened, then you would be in a grass hut.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we need reparations. Your reparations are that you get to live in America.
Wow.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You get to have the Christian religion.
That's
live
right.
better than your ancestors.
The greatest moment in history for any brown or black country is the moment that the white man's ships arrive on your shore.
Now, if that isn't enough, I want you to hear speeches and wording that was given by a man that sounds very similar to what you just heard from these pastors. He is held to be this amazing martyr for the Christian community, for the Republicans in this country, and they even got, our kids in the public school. Well, y'all kids, my kids is homeschooled. They got them doing homework assignments about their hero.
This is your homework?
Yeah.
What did the teacher say when he gave it to you?
She was sad.
She was sad?
Yeah. I can't read.
Well, let me stop it real quick. Let me. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. We should actually be thankful because, of course, he's buying into this narrative that we were rescued from Africa. They still sell that narrative. We should be thankful that they rescued us and then put us in chains. And then the door pause that comes next. It is incredible to me that people still say shit like that. It is incredible to me that they think like this. It is incredible to me, right? But if you ever listen to Bobby Hennett and Azazel Bay, then you know why they think like that, you know? But it is absolutely incredible to me that, you know, they still think and they still put out this. I don't for one moment think that the people who are on these platforms and who have big audiences, they actually believe that. I don't think for one second they actually really truly believe that. That's the story they're telling everybody else. I don't believe for one fucking second that they truly believe that. They know the history. They have more access to information that we don't have. And they know exactly who we are, where we come from, where we originate from. So I don't believe that. That's my personal opinion. Though. You believe what you want, okay? But I don't believe for one second that they actually truly believe that. That's the narrative they have to sell. That we always need a savior. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you reposted that the other? Okay. Oh, I missed that. And I gotta watch this in this entirety. Peace, Mooney. How are you? Um, Dang man, his Brown Sugar is probably the best R&B album of his time, besides Silk's first one and Jodeci. Damn, I totally agree with that. Non-skippable album. You can put it in and just let it play. Christian nationalism is on the rise of new tech AI holy war. Oh yeah, yeah. Attention seeking, indeed, absolutely. The audacity, and right after that, the caucasity. Right. What the fuck? What about the men and their families doing weird shits to the children, keeping it within the family? How about that? You know what I mean? New level of indoctrination. I don't know. Malachi Z's York book about the beast looking really close to reality right now. It's bad though. I had to delete Twitter X because I like my peace. Damn. Okay. I read that the small hats are funding Christian churches now in exchange for propaganda pushing agenda. Well, yeah, they don't have to believe it, but they'll get folks who don't know nothing. That's exactly my point. That was exactly my point. Thanks, Ultra. That's exactly my point. What's up, Tosh? How are you? You know what I'm saying? Do you remember The Blind Side? Here's a perfect example of we always need someone to come and save us. We savages, you know. We ain't know any better. They had to come and save us out of living in huts and eating mud, yada, yada, yada. Remember this? This is Michael Orr. This is who The Blind Side was based on, okay? I remember the marketing for this one. I remember, you know, let's talk about Michael, the man behind The Blind Side, what happens when a real black life gets rewritten into a white power fantasy. He rose to fame as the subject of The Blind Side, 2009 Oscar-winning film that told the story of a poor black teenager taken in by a wealthy white family, the Toys, who supposedly adopted him, helped him become a star athlete. She, Sandra Bullock, won an award for portraying Lee Antoy in a film grossed more than $300 million. In August 2023, he filed a petition in the Tennessee court that shattered the feel-good myth. He revealed that he was never actually adopted. Tuohy's had instead placed him under a conservatorship, the same kind of legal arrangement used for adults with disabilities or diminished capacity. When it was signed, when he was 18, they gave it control over his finance, contracts, and business affairs. He didn't even understand what he was signing. He thought he was being adopted, and this was a setup. They, in turn, made millions from The Blind Side book and film. Orr says he received nothing from the movie that commodified his life story. The families claim they gave him a share, but financial documents haven't substantiated that claim. Okay. There's a whole article on this one. Oh, I actually comment. Same, the same as it ever been. White people came along and are the saviors. I spelled that wrong. Of melanated people, and they should be grateful. It's the same narrative over and over again. It's so goddamn sickening. So I guess I said that. But anyway, I wanted to share that because that's one of the perfect examples of that. You know, we always need to be saved. We always need to be policed. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, y'all ever hear of Tarzan? I was actually surprised that a movie came out. Here, this nigga, he was raised by gorillas. He became the smartest person in Africa and was all around the jungle, oh, making that silly ass noise, conquering animals and saving the niggas that's in the jungle, the uncivilized niggas. You know, it goes back further and further and further. It is constant. And it's just, if you don't know any better, you'll fall into this trap thinking that, yeah, melanated people cannot govern themselves and that white people are their saviors. They have to save us. What's up, Dom? I loved and played the Voodoo album daily. Yes, that was the shit. That album was the shit. Imagine when you lucid dream and you're so wrong. Can you reword that, please? It's important to protect your peace in these times. So, like, these new topics are a form of vampirism because these topics are emotionally infuriating, and then America God has got them in power. This is the same thing that happened the first time he was in office. Y'all remember that? That song, the line off of Voodoo is Life. And he had the suing, what's up, astrology villain. Yes, Sandra Bullock. Right. I've never seen that movie. I've never wanted to see the movie, simple based on the fact that when I saw the commercial for it, I remember her saying to him something, and he's sitting there all dumb and yes, ma'am, all timid and weak and big nigga, but weak, timid, can barely raise his head. I hated the image that I saw then. So my spirit was telling me right. Said he didn't make one brown penny from that movie. Right. So they do what they do best. They make money off of us. You know what? As a matter of fact, the melanated community lets everybody eat off of them. Everyone comes into our neighborhoods. They open up businesses. They won't hire you, but they'll open up businesses and take all your money. Meanwhile, serving you behind a bulletproof glass. See, I've seen this constant as I was growing up. It still happens to this day. To this day. Y'all pay them for their hair, for their makeup, and for all the other shit that we don't need. What's wrong with them that they have to pretend that they have ever had heroic intentions with no predatory leanings? Right. Exactly. When you lucid dream and your surroundings are next to real, is that a reflection that your consciousness is growing? I just believe you're just lucid dreaming. It happens when you concentrate on making it happen. I love lucid dreaming. I do. I really love to lucid dream. It is fantastic. It is a feel good to me. I wake up in a great mood. It's an experience to lucid dream because you can control it. Check out the films Queen of Bones and The Woman in Cabin 10. What's up, The Beyonder? Never heard of either one of those. Yeah. Nikki Banks. Hey, what's up, Nikki? Okay, I see you. Like Wendy Williams is under right now. What do you mean? She's under what? That movie, The Blind Side, came out when I was a teen. Back then, I couldn't stand that movie. It was too much. I've never, ever seen it. I never was interested in that movie. Now I see why. Was practiced astral travel and went lucid. But when I looked at my hands, my finger didn't go through my hand. My point touched my hand as if I was awake. Do you have the book Astral Dynamics? It is the best book on astral traveling by Robert Bruce. He transitioned, I think, a year or two ago. Hey, Jada, how are you? They have been stealing from us forever money, land, ideas, and our magic. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Your point of fin. Okay, I got you. I got you. Me either. And I like Sandra Bullock, but I refuse to watch that movie. Yeah, but them five wings and fries be the shit. Man, we used to go to house parties. I'm dead serious with this. We used to go to house parties. We'd be drinking 40s. And after the house party, we head right to the damn Chinese store and get wings and fries. That was the movie to feed you, the movie. That was the food to feed your appetite after partying, getting high and shit. I had some wild times, but that's not what this is about. D'Angelo. Hey, what's up, Sister Righteous? In the name of love and war, took my shield and sword. It's a spell that melanated people support the oppressor. Right. The conservatorship. Exactly. Consortiumship or whatever they call it. Sandra Bullock sucks. Just another puppet in Hollywood. Not a good actress. It's a person pushed up on the scene. Yeah. Is your name in reference to the anime Lord of Mysteries? Yes, but I just got a new book on astral travel by a guy named Arcturus Rowley. Wasn't expecting much, but I would recommend it as the mantra formula you recommended for astral travel. Okay, okay, cool, cool. Like I said, y'all is not been this generation, but it's Tarzan and like I said, they will try and prop themselves up as the savior of humanity and as the symbol of morality, and this is why I say research is so important. Reading and knowing your history is so important. They will push in like series like Watchmen, they will push Tulsa on that. They actually won't put much out about the race riots that have actually happened. You know what I'm saying? They got to save us, but besides Tulsa, there were so many race riots. I mean, these people have a history that a lot of people don't know. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. King Kong. Absolutely right, Mooney. Absolutely right. King Kong. Absolutely. They even recreated the image with LeBron James. Ain't that a bitch? Right in your face, they recreated King Kong with LeBron James growling. You know what I'm saying? Make that make sense. You know? There's been so many race riots throughout history. It is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody now knows about Tulsa. But what about the other race riots? Or should I, it's not race riots, race massacres. You know what I mean? This is the history they suppress and they've been trying to keep out of, history. Okay. There's one. What about the one that happened in 1898, Wilmington, North Carolina? Look that one up. You know what happened in 1898 in Wilmington, North Carolina? It was a violent overthrow of lawfully elected biracial government. Yes, they actually overthrew the government. You know what I mean? They overthrew it. The Klan. Look it up. I'm not making this shit up. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? 1919. It's called the Red Summer. That's another race massacre. All right. There's a book out. I can't locate it anymore, but there's a book out that lists all of these race massacres. Tulsa wasn't the only one. I said this before. Tulsa was far from the only one. You know what I'm saying? 1908, Springfield, Illinois. 5,000 whites attacked melanated people. Okay, that was 1908. All right, this shit goes back to the 1800s, y'all. Don't forget Rosewood. Y'all remember Rosewood? They made a movie out of that one. It's always most of the time, it's the same shit. Okay, somebody accuses a black man of rape, and then the mob goes to attack him because they want justice and shit and all this bullshit. They just need a reason to attack. That's it. Okay, 1923, Rosewood, Florida. Y'all remember that? Vin Rames was in that movie, Rosewood. Okay, and I believe the woman who played Celia's sister in The Color Purple, I believe she was in it also. Yeah, 1920. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly. Ocoee, Florida. This is when a mob of white people attacked black people who attempted to vote. This happened in 1920. Right? Let me go back. 1873. Colfax, Louisiana. Colfax, Louisiana. A white militia killed dozens of melanated people. All right. 1917. East St. Louis. This violence happened over factory jobs. They were dissatisfied of the melanated people working. See what I mean? This has constantly happened, y'all. Constant. That's why I say research is so important. I always say, know who you're dealing with. Remember me ever saying that? Have any of you have been watching me or following me for a while? Y'all remember? I just say, no, not every white person is bad, or you should, feel a certain way about every single white person. I just say, know who you're dealing with and know their history. That's all I say. You know what I mean? And now all this shit is coming out. All this shit is coming out. God, go back to when Ani Osara was back on this channel the last time and what he said about Charlie Kirk. All right. Do you know I still haven't seen that movie about Nat Turner? I've still not looked at it. I just am not interested. About the uprising of Nat Turner. Now I got to check out Lord of Mysteries. Avatar, low key too. There's a book called The International Jew by Henry Ford. It said they had a hand in the OKC BWS riots. I am not surprised. 122 years later since 1913. I just rewatched it, was like, yeah, of course, the indigenous couldn't have technology beyond spears. How about that? Okay. Meanwhile, while we over there in Africa, living in huts, our bones through our noses, and chucking spears, meanwhile, the pyramids are located there. So is the Sphinx. Which perfectly lines up with Orion's belt. But no, we lived in huts, we ate mud pies, and we was chucking spears. I'm like, when are y'all ever going to get tired of this bullshit? 3 race riots in Alabama. What's up, Derek Witherspoon? What's up, Chikezi? How are you? Y'all talk about anime. Okay. The movie Killers of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese show exactly the predatory, parasitic mentality of these people. Very eye-opening lecture by Bobby Hemmett is called The Psychology of White Racism. Matter of fact, I would love to show it to you here if I can find it. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that one. It's called The Psychology, and Bobby, as always, says some interesting things. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull this one up. I know I have it somewhere. Maybe I don't. He also has one called the Attack on Melanated DNA. I suggest, honestly, that you just watch all of Bobby's videos. Dr. Yafa Bey also, How to Survive the Fall of Rome. I went through that a while ago, you know. But like I said, fill yourself with knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and grow your power. You know what I mean? It's just, how else you gonna survive this shit? But I like what Brother Moore said earlier. He said that he likes to protect his peace. Certain things he won't watch. I believe that's what you said. Somebody had asked me about, it might have been Legacy Sigma. They asked me about sigils. I'm jumping, but give me a moment here. You asked me about sigils, the last live, if I'm not mistaken. You asked me about, he said something about sigils.
Sisters, here we are again.
All right, here we go.
Scholar,
here we go.
Brother Bob.
So I did this. It's got a lot of views by now. It's gotten, oh, well, not a lot, but this was 3 years ago, I think, because I reposted it. One of the easiest tools to use is Sigil Magic. It's a part of Chaos Magic.
Real easy. You won't be going too far into it, so it's a great thing. The things that I've given out so far, okay. It's not something for an advanced practitioner. Basically for a beginner. All right. So, Sigil Magic, again, is another one of my favorite types of magic. Simply because you can use it for just about anything. All right. A sigil or a symbol is a representation of something. Okay. Angels have their own sigils. Demons have their own sigils. It's really, really simple. But you can make your own. And when you do that, you're just calling on the power of the universe and your own being. One more time, Sigil Magic is really easy and it's actually fun, in my opinion, because you get real creative with it. This falls in line with Chaos Magic. Okay?
Actually, a part.
Falls in line with Chaos Magic. And a lot of people I noticed have veered towards Chaos Magic because, for one, there's no deities to worship or to call on. It's all you. So, a lot of people are more comfortable doing that as opposed to calling on a particular voodoo deity or some other system of magic like the Goetia or the Klipa or the Kabbalah. All right?
So that basics, I just wanted to share that clip real quick. Because like I said, somebody said it the last live, somebody was asking about it. So my father just told me about the Red Summer a few months back. Yeah, it's deadly. Those massacres were deadly. Look them up. Please look them up. Yes, great point. This is why I question the motive of MLK and men like him fighting for integration. It's like a fish fighting to live with fishermen that only eats fish. Great analogy. I totally agree. Martin, at the end of his life, realized this. He said, I fear I have led my people into a burning house. I'm paraphrasing, but I believe he said something like that. Yeah. Strange how that Nat Turner movie had the same title as that old Klan movie, Birth of a Nation. Right. I thought I was the only one who noticed that. You know what I'm saying? And Birth of a Nation is extremely racist movie, extremely prejudiced movie, you know, and they got the people that's black are played by white people. Okay. I normally don't use these terms, black and white, but for the purposes of this discussion, I am going to use it. These terms, you know what I'm saying? They put themselves in blackface and then, you know, portray us in all kinds of horrible ways. We lived all over the world, and this is why I said, know thyself, you know, and know who the real minority is globally. We are not a minority globally. There are also 3 universities located in Africa before Europe knew what a bath was. And Greeks and Romans came to Africa, Akibilan, or whatever you want to call it, to go and study. The mystery schools were in Africa, Akibilan, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? This is why, again, history is so important. When you're armed with knowledge, there's really no defeating. Arcturus, out of body experience. I'm going to have to look that one up. Good book, straight to the point. What's up, Bobby L? What's going on? Bobby never sugarcoated a thing, not one thing. You know what I'm saying? Killers of the Flower Moon, right on Lois John. Studying. Here you go, right here. Bobby always comes with it. Studying builds spiritual currency. In my experience, learning something useful feels refreshing. You should learn something new every single day. You should learn one new thing every day. Katrina, let's see. It was something Katrina sent me. Keeping the black man weak, keeping the melanated weak down. They doing it at all costs. They are pulling out all the stops, all tricks right now. Okay. Have you seen this? Check this shit out right here.
Black man, the safest man in America. He listens,
He validates.
and he never disagrees.
Unless it's about your self-care.
He's strong, but not too strong. Soft black man, your plush.
Exactly, Mooney. Know thyself. Hakeem did a whole course about sigil magic. I recommended to check the interview he did with Eileen Bay many years ago. Okay, will do. Okay. But what I know about integration, a lot of black businesses were traded for jobs in non-black owned businesses and social inclusion. Same with colleges. Black people gave up economic power. Absolutely. Yeah, he did do the door pause, which is why I stopped sharing the screen. Right, they bugging. Right. Lord, AI is something else. Oh, AI is getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? It is getting, I don't even know what to say anymore about AI is learning way too fast. My God, the shit that AI does, it doesn't even make sense sometimes. Like this right here. Does this make any kind of sense, y'all? Tell me what kind of sense this clip makes. Look at it. Ass out. Dora pause. Right. I just seen that last week. Just remember that we can use AI as well, free range, to combat against the agendas. Lord help us though. Triple Dora pause. Right. The powers that be want to soften up. They've been doing this forever, Bobby. You know what I mean? Softening up the black male image. This is why you got P Valley on. This is why you got Saucy Santana being promoted and the other motherfucker wearing fucking weaves, and you know what I mean, with these reality shows with us just looking bitchified and soft, and you know, like when are not y'all, but when are people gonna get tired of seeing us like this? Soft enough for their culture vulture fangs to pierce the skin, to drink blacks' cultural and moral lifeblood, in my opinion. Oh, your opinion is very valid, sir. I agree. Hold up them Stephen Hawk videos with AI is hilarious. I bet. I think AI was already advanced and they was just showing us, yeah, absolutely. By the time they show us anything, it is already 10 to 15 years old. What did I just see? Right. It didn't make any sense. I kept watching like, what is the point of this one? You know, it's called AI slop, purposely meant to have you watch it and generate engagement. Really? That's what it is. Okay. All right. Majority of these accounts are run by young demons. It was another one you sent me, Katrina, that I definitely wanted to what you just said, Bobby, about we gave up economic power. Economic power. Serial entrepreneurs and power couple Chid Liberty and Georgie Liberty sold their 236-acre farm in upstate New York to the developers for $13.7 million. Why is the math not mathing in that one? You know what I mean? I'm sure that land is worth far more than that. You know what I mean? You see this right here? 236 acres for only 13 million. I would have sold that motherfucker to them for $1 million an acre. That land is worth far more. Far more. You know what I'm saying? Far more. MTV is shutting down their music channels after 40 years. MTV stopped showing music videos over 10 years ago, and they put this trash TV on. So good riddance to them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the right-wing kids, teens are doing it. I don't think you have any idea how many AI George Floyd videos there are. I'm pretty sure. I thought you were going, hey, green-eyed crow. Yeah, yeah. You know, 236 acres is a lot of land. They only sold it for 13 million. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. There's a heart. You can't make this shit up if you tried, y'all. The Heart Attack Grill. Not only just racism and prejudice and all this other bullshit. The Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas lets you eat for free if you weigh 300 pounds or more. If you weigh 300 pounds And they have a scale outside. Look at this. Getting all right. So anyway, yeah, there's that. There's that. At least 500 million, right? Exactly. Sent it to Ani. He said that 137 is the 33rd prime number. We all know what 33 means. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Crazy. Yes, and if you don't finish your food, a naughty nurse comes over and humiliates you. Wow. Jesus. That scale got to be lying. Shakes come with a butter chuck instead of a cherry on top. Gross display of gluttony. Damn it. Jesus. Sad on so many levels. Yes. I guess they chosen how they want to go by forklift through the hole in the living room wall. Where's Richardson? Wow. That's crazy and sad, man. Our people perish for lack of knowledge, which has been my entire point this episode. Humanity been trash. Right. Right. This is the video that I was telling y'all earlier. I did find it's called The Psychology of White Racism by Bobby Hemmett. I totally strongly suggest it. Here's a clip of that.
I don't need to go on and give him a long, introduction. We're just going to head right in there with Bobby Hemmett.
Y'all know who's talking.
A few things that we have not touched on yet. Brother Bobby Hemmett. Give it up for Bobby.
What we're going to deal with today, I'm glad to be back here in Harlem, the capital of Black America. And we say that is because it's historically undisputed the historical capital of Black America. If you were somebody, you came through Harlem. I want to say that. Harlem, New York. I've been blessed.
Not Dawood.
I just want to say
that was Sarnetta.
I had just finished my first lecture, which was human artificial. No, it wasn't human artificial. It was Dokon, and I did human artificials.
Human artificials, another one y'all need to read.
Human artificials after that, and set type 1 and 2. For those people who get to the library and try to find out about those particular aspects, which is more than 50, because that's what we're going to go back into human artificial in the aspect of who are the human artificial. We talk about this white race that we are still not unclear. We're still unclear about what we're dealing with this vile cold beast and how he's affected our lives. And we're not saying, we know that he is responsible for us being fucked up, but we're responsible for our own liberation. So we are not in no means trying to say that we are supposed to give up on trying to figure this shit out because the white man is the devil. But then again, on the other hand, we don't supposed to get that the white man is also the devil in the physical connotation of what we call the devil. Not the metaphysical when we talk about Satan and all that stuff I get into, but when you talk about an adversary on the physical earth, we know that the adversary in this particular case, spite what most black people say, you know, what black people are my worst enemies, but we're talking about a world system that would even produce a brother to be against a brother. There has to be an origin to that. And in this particular case, for the last 500 years, it's been this damn beast, this white boy. And in a consortium, or what you want to call it, be Italian, Jew, or whatever the deal is, one thing about it that they have a consensus on, that we're supposed to remain on the bottom. So there might be solidarity with you and white folks as individuals. You might meet a few, and that's, I think, that's one of the problems on why black people, first of all, I must say this about black people. Black people are not racist and never will be. I heard Professor Asa Hilliard say this years ago, Dr. Asa Hilliard, that black people are never racist and never will be because it's not our nature to be racist. And when I did human artificials and later on immigrant humans, I told the people that you can't look at this as the same thing as this is racism back at you because I'm saying, first of all, I'm explaining the truth. Number two, I'm telling you not to be racist in the aspect that you get emotionally upset about white folks, but I'm telling you, you must understand white folks. So when we do these things, it's a difference in being a racist in the aspect of you personally have a dislike for some white person because you have no merits based on what somebody told you. But it's another thing to understand white folks. There's a difference. Now let me give you an example on white folks' side. The average redneck or the average ignorant person is a racist because they have been trained in a system that they dislike white people dislike black people based on what they were trained and what they heard and based on a tradition. And most black people say, well, if those white people were to get education on us, they would like us better. That's right. Unfortunately, this is wrong. Those ignorant white people hate us based on what they were trained, based on their tradition and what they heard certain things, and based on someone basically giving them untruths about us and basically simply not knowing us in the aspect of not only the stereotypes of what was given to them. You know, so that's one form of racism. But the other form of racism is those white people who do know us. It's a form of jealousy and a form of knowing that we are the original people on the earth and they must keep us down. And that's a learned white man.
So he goes in this entire lecture. He's sitting there and he is speaking with Sarnetta. Y'all know who Sarnetta is. You should know who he is. He's been in the conscious community for some years now. You know, House of Consciousness, I think he's in charge of that, or he founded it. Anyway, Bobby speaks so much truth. And this is what I was saying about, you know, knowing who you are dealing with. That's exactly what I mean about knowing who you are dealing with. That's why I said those persons, or that person who was speaking in Michi X's video, I don't believe for 1 second he believes that he believes that we were living in HUD. They know who we are. They know our origins. They know our contributions. They know all about us. They constantly study us. They are constantly digging up our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? They portrayed, these people are so devilish. They portrayed Killmonger as the enemy of black people. Can you believe that shit? In Black Panther? He was going to free all black people. That's what his goal was. He was going to take, what was it called? Vibranium? He was going to take vibranium and free all melanated people. This is what he was going to do. And in the end of the movie, who was the real hero? The FBI guy, the white guy. So anyway, Know thyself. We don't need we don't need a savior, even though their agendas and narratives will push to the people that we do. And this seeps into our subconscious minds. So I say the number one weapon is the media and music. Their number one weapon. One more clip I want to show y'all because I could not believe this fool went into a place where Jesus supposedly lived. This was in Israel. Look how this fool acted. Yes, I called her a fool. Look how this fool acted in Jesus's house in Israel. Oh, it was frozen? Oh, all that time it was frozen? Jesus. All right. Let me try this one more time. Tell me if it's frozen again.
Touch.
Baby girl, what's up? She said her dog started barking. Disgusting levels of indoctrinations. Right. This bitch, I'm sorry. Oh, yes, I noticed that a lot of their stories vilify the wrong person. Judas, Killmonger, Thanos all had perfectly thought out plans to benefit the downtrodden and abused, but no, is supposedly the way. Exactly. Exactly, Tosh. Exactly. I was cheering for Killmonger. I mean, we should have knew what was up. He said, "Don't worry, I'll see that they get a fair price for it." You know, when he said that, you know what I'm saying? Tourism is a hell of a thing, right? sound like a car not starting. Y'all going in. The Holy Spirit took over. That's just fucking ridiculous, man. They come at it as from all different ways, and we just, from the diet to the media and the racism and the prejudice that's constantly going around, the fucking, religion. Oh my God. In every single way possible, they attack us. In every single way possible. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know why I ended it with that, but I'm still hearing that shit in my head. The Aquarian gospel of Jesus Christ goes into the places in the known world Yahshua traveled to learn and also teach, or to evade pursuers as one of the Essenes. That just brought to mind the book of Clarence. No rest for right. It really isn't. This I often say, I don't mean for these lives to turn into a racial discussion, but when it's constantly in our face, constantly. There's just really no escaping it. You know what I'm saying? None. No escaping the shit. Okay? Don't forget that anti-racism charm I gave y'all a while ago. Y'all remember that? Anti-racism. Here it is again before I bounce up out of here. In case you don't have it, I don't know if anyone has ever used it. Nobody's ever gotten back to me about it, but this is that if you want to screenshot it. Call on these angels here. Oh, still hearing this heifer's shut up. And you say these words here, and yeah, that's that anti-racism charm. But thank you for joining me today. Y'all have been a blast as always. I truly enjoy y'all. Thank you, and I humbly thank you for your support over the years. Protect yourselves, y'all, on this day of Mars at that. All right. I will see y'all back here Friday around 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Find on one, there's only one, the one and only, the mystical, magical, hilarious, the understanding, diabolical one. Magick LaQuaz greet you as I always do, in peace. Go in peace. Namaste. Peace, y'all. Always a pleasure. I appreciate y'all.